Hello and a warm welcome to Top Stories here on a Viewer Television. My name is Phillips Levin. 17 African countries have agreed to work together to curtail money laundering and terrorism funding in the region. The country's financial intelligence unit met in Abuja to develop an action plan that will provide an effective solution to the financial complexity associated with terrorism and the proliferation of weapons in the region. Speaking at the unit inaugural meeting, the secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, said terror attacks have stifled development in the region. He lamented that terrorist groups are waxing strong in the region as a result of the multiple sources of funding they have been receiving from both local and international partners. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has decided it will not embark on another strike over its salary cut, but instead engage in peaceful consultation. In a statement made available to newsmen after the National Executive Council meeting and signed by ASU's president, Professor Emmanuel Asudeki, the union said it will continue to pursue a positive resolution of the avoidable crisis within the ambit of legality without compromising the interests and welfare of Nigerians intellectuals. Some members of the union also confirmed to reporters that it will not go on strike for now. In the statement, Sodeki also appealed for the understanding of Nigerian students, parents, and other genuinely concerned individuals and groups. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, says it had uncovered plans by criminal elements to introduce a lethal synthetic opioids fentanyl to the market. The drugs, according to the agency, were intended to replace the proscribed tramadol. In a statement by the Director Media and Advocacy, Femi Babafemi, the drug was capable of causing mass casualties among the youth if consumed. He added that the drug was a major contributor to fatal and non-fatal overdose death in the United States of America. Babafemi warned that the illicit drug could come in nasal sprays, eye drops, or small candies, urging parents to be on the lookout. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, says it will appeal the October 28 conviction of its chairman, Abdurrashid Bauer, for contempt of court. A high court of the Federal Capital Territory in Maitama has convicted the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Abdurrashid Bauer, for contempt of court in relation to the anti-graft agency's failure to comply with an earlier order of the court. Justice Chizoba Orji, in a ruling, held that Bauer was in contempt of the order of the court made on November 21, 2018, and directed the EFCC to return to an applicant his Range Rover supercharged and the sum of 40 million naira. Rauf Aregbesola, Minister of Interior, has written to the Nigerian Governors Forum to request a meeting in order to decongest jails around the country. This was made known to newsmen by the minister's media advisor, Shola Feshuri. In exactly 1 month, Aregbesola stated he will meet with state governors to agree on the mass release of at least 30% of the convicts from correctional facilities across the country. The minister said that the interface was necessary as more than 90% of the inmates were being held for contravening various state laws, noting that over 70% of the 75,635 inmates at present were awaiting trials. On natural disaster, the Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Mustafa Muhammad, has raised the alarm that Nigeria should expect more devastating floods in 2023. The NEMA boss stated this while appearing before the Senate Committee on Special Duties, headed by Yusuf to defend the 2023 budget proposal of his agency. Here's the report.
The Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency (NEMA), Mustafa Mohammed, urged governments at all levels to brace up for the challenges ahead by establishing local emergency committees in order to mitigate the devastating impact of floods and other disasters across the country.
When NIMET released seasonal climate prediction and NISA released their flood outlook, we warned them in time. After we organized stakeholders meeting to analyze those reports and identify vulnerable areas with risk mapping, and sent it out to all the state governors early.
The NEMA boss also explained that in disaster management, the local government should be the first respondent, followed by the state, and if it is beyond what the state can handle, the federal government can then come on board. Meanwhile, the Senate Committee on Special Duties declared poor budgetary allocation to NEMA and promised to come up with a legislation that will put the agency under the presidency for optimum performance.
I'm sure you have tried your best, and within that your best, we want to know what reliefs you have done from one country, from one section of the country to the other. I also want to find out, is there in any way presidential intervention specifically for attending to the issue of flood?
The committee also urged NEMA to get the states engaged and ensure that there are proper plans for people displaced by flood.
And we have tripartite management of disaster in Nigeria. We have local government management agency. We have a state management agency, emergency management agency. We have NEMA, but it's like everything comes to NEMA in Nigeria. The local government is not functioning. The state government is not functioning. It's only National Emergency Management Agency. And I don't think you people will have the capacity, the manpower, the resources, and the logistics you need to tackle this.
Another member of the committee advised the agency to come up with an accurate number of flood casualties.
Bauchi State leadership of Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, MACBAN, says it will continue to push for the protection of the rights of its people who are often neglected to benefit from the dividends of democracy. The state chairman of the group, Sadiq Ibrahim, who disclosed this while speaking to journalists in Bauchi, says part of the reasons why many Fulani people engage on social authorities is due to lack of attention by the government to provide them with their immediate needs. Here's a report.
According to the Bauchi State Chairman of Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, Sadiq Ibrahim, Fulani people constitute a larger proportion of the population in northern part of Nigeria, and they also contribute significantly to the socio-economic development of the country. But sadly, they receive little attention from the government. This, he says, is the reason why they will continue to push with the aim of influencing government decisions for the good cause of a Fulani man in Nigeria.
What remains is for us to continue to see the implementation of this confidence of where can we put our head and see what they have been deprived of as citizens, as people of the state, especially in the area of government. Previous governments, where the Fulani man has nothing or zero budget, we see that start 2023, all 75% or 60% of budget, Nigerian budgets, goes to the majority of the people of Bauchi State, which are the Fulani people. We'll continue to fight for our right. We'll continue to live in peace and harmony with any other person. We'll continue to protect and to give government protection. But we will not allow anybody to continue to intimidate. And in the last 1 year, I'm happy because they have seen what we have done. That is why you see, without my intention, without my consent, I was only coming to say the people are aware.
The chairman, however, calls on the media to play part towards helping to address the menace of farmer-headers clash, especially during this period of harvest. Awal Hassan, Viewer TV News, Bauchi.
Well, that's all on Top Stories for now. Thank you, of course, for your company. Please, when you see something, do say something. Phillips Levin saying to have a great day.